before the game even starts.
Why not?
Do not microwave
Look at this
and
crap,
not
dude.
predictable.
We slide into.
Yeah. It's just all over the place.
Gadoosh.
Yeah, that's a lot of skadoosh.
Welcome to Shadows, guys. Skadoosh.
Skadoosh.
Yeah.
I
It's
love
like
all the random names that are showing up because, like, the algorithm doesn't know who to pick because it doesn't have anyone who watches the stream regularly. So it's like, you get a sub, and you get a sub, and you random person, you get a sub.
I mean,
yeah, activity log is getting
previously,
blasted.
You know,
It's funny.
previously part of it.
That's true.
Oh, that's why I can't see nothing. I figured it out. It's been forever, but I figured it out.
It's been 1 week since you looked at me.
Let's see if I can get... Where's this my chat? Okay. I'll have to put that in later. Well, back we are. After life. Lots of life. I've literally grown a beard since last I've done this.
Oh yeah, we should probably like look at the last stream and see just like the size difference.
Yeah, we'll have to do it on YouTube because they literally phased out. No vids to work with.
Yep. Wow, a
And-
level 4 hype train. Good job.
I mean,
Our channel
Like I
all-time
said-
record is 5. So
I got paid today, so might as well spread the wealth.
well, feeling the love shared. Love has been shared.
he feels it, bro. Feel it. Feel it.
Yes, indeed. Well,
He's feeling
Obviously.
the vibration.
no name tags this time around. Nothing fancy. Had to downgrade a bit. It's so funny when you do that, Bill, because it looks like he's in trouble. You've just got him by the scruff, and he's like that before you finally settle him in.
Yeah. The best is when he grips the beard.
Grooms the beard.
Oh, he like claws right into it.
Oh,
That he is. That he is.
I know
Look at
that's
this
not what
text
it means,
over my
but
face.
That's what I was
Can you
Perfect.
thinking.
can you say
It
hello to
means
our
male
viewers?
elf.
I was close. I put
You're
man
very
elf.
close. It's because on a D&D character sheet it says sex, M, race, elf, and together, melf.
Melf. Man,
I like man elf. Yeah.
Man elf. That's like a He-Man character. Fisto, get over here. Man
It
elf.
looked better
Man
if I
the
were
battle
I
grainy.
tried to fist him, and I couldn't fist him anymore.
Fisted all I could fist.
That's real too. That's the best part. Like, you think we're making a joke, and we're not.
We never joke about fist.
There we go. Let's take this object
Mephisto. might
down
pop up
here.
in the Marvel Universe soon.
like that. And we'll
Is that Marvel Universe the game? Because it's Mephisto did show up in.
I mean, in the
Marvel.
cinematic universe.
there we go.
He did show up already in the Spider-Man movie, didn't he? I'm thinking Mysterio. I think
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
you could forgive me. The names are very similar.
That's why I didn't like call it out or anything. It's like it could entirely be there. Didn't you know that's why I watch with captions. That is the primary reason I watch Marvel movies with captions.
I watch
So
all
that's-
movies with captions if I can.
Well, yeah. Because then I'm snacking, I can't hear everything. But
Well, it's not even
It'll,
that. But like, yeah, what you're about to say, I think, is part of the reason.
it'll be like Agent 7 says, well, and I'm like, Agent 7? Wait a second, the guy from issue 45 of the Amazing Spider-Man's Dan Slott
I don't go
run? Oh my
that
God,
deep.
Like,
It's more just so I can hear, like, see how things are actually said. Because
Yeah.
a lot of movies nowadays, for whatever reason, have just the worst like sound mixing, where the music is way too loud and the dialogue is too quiet. And
Usually the
or
sound effects,
vice
like all the
versa.
fighting and explosions, blow your ears out, and then you can't hear anybody talk.
Exactly.
Well, think about how you're watching it, right? It's mixed for a theater, and then you go to watch it at home on your flat TV with two speakers on the back pointing 2 inches away from the wall. And they gotta shove all those channels into those two little things.
I
Shut
thought they were
up.
supposed to be formatted to fit my screen.
It does fit your
Formatted.
screen, it doesn't fit your speakers.
But I assumed that meant the whole screen, including sound.
I remember when I was a kid, my mom was like, how
Ooh.
do they know how big my screen is? And I was like, I can't tell if you're making a joke or not.
Well, I have to suspect that the audio seems to be doing well. That usually would be the thing that plagued us the most.
Mhm.
Alright, well, I have me a hard cutoff at 10 o'clock, so we should probably get into the thick of it.
Hardest of cut-offs. Let's do a quick sound check from everyone else, because I can hear D just fine on the stream. And I can hear myself. Scott?
La 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 la. You're like, he sounds like garbage.
Bill?
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
No, okay, you spoke over each other. Bill?
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Okay, yep, you're good. I think he's got you at like 150%, because you actually came in louder on his stream than you're coming in through my sounds,
Oh.
which is good, because...
All well adjusted, yes. Well done, go
He's
us.
a very soft-spoken man. Very strong.
Uh-huh.
Gravel voice.
Yeah. Okay, so the last time we played was 8-2. And
Yes, 20 pounds ago.
Have you seriously gained 20 pounds?
Oh, my weight's a problem. I mean, they weighed me at the doctor's office the other day, and they were like, yeah, you're 260 pounds. I'm like, excuse me?
Anyway, so we were dealing with the immediate aftermath of when we were attacked at our safe house. There's some tomfoolery that happened there, as far as like when we were dealing with the cops that showed up finally. Our current goals are trying to save Silva. We're working with Memphis. We're working with Deckard Williams. We've already made contact with Violet De La Rosa, and we've also made contact with Emma, the telepath. Our current objective, our current thing is that we're going to have Hugh be bait to try pulling out the guy who attacked our Hugh had been working with a contact, and someone we were working with was trying to attack them. I can't remember names right now. But what I wrote down was we'll get in contact with Zachary to check in on the job and make a place for Hugh to be bait and bring out attackers. Did you just heart?
Yes, he did.
I didn't see it on the actual stream because I'm looking at my notes right now. I saw it coming from your...
Only
the
now
live
for
stream.
your free whipping.
Well, why
How did you get the
celebration
confetti to go
happen?
out of nowhere?
I'm not gonna fight you. I'm gonna kick your ass.
This is what we do.
Damn, I love this job.
The last thing we're gonna do is try getting Hugh kitted up, because he's kind of like, we've got we've got Malcolm, who's a vampire and is a tank, and we got Danny, who's not protected, but he's always in the back. He's always in the back line, and Hugh's never really found a place in our fight. I think that's the plan as of right now.
Yeah, the issue with Hugh is that he goes up to melee, but you need a little
Well, I
more
don't really
protection.
have. I have a sawed-off shotgun and like a pistol.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I have this melee.
And your bat, right? That you took from that one.
The viper
dude.
bat, yeah.
Yeah.
So
That
I'm
was like
sorry.
one of our first encounters.
This is essentially Hugh.
Here we go.
More or less.
Yeah,
That
Danny
rates.
is like definition of glass cannon. Like he has armor, but it two gunshots and he'd be dead.
Oh, my back hurts. Because, Malcolm's carrying.
Well,
Find my
where's everybody at the current state? Because I believe... Because we did have a discussion. That was what everybody had missed. Since
So-
we're obviously
so you're
putting this on
asking-
stream.
Where we're at our current state. I want to be clear, that's your question.
Where are we currently
I'm
in
over here
terms
stroking
of
my
location
dick.
and
I'm
time?
lotion on my dick right now. I'm just stroking my shit.
I don't think that's good for stream. Maybe you shouldn't be stroking it, huh? There's another website you can go to if you want to be doing that.
I just broke Scott.
Have you not heard that before, Scott?
It was unexpected.
It's about
I'm
to
not
just,
drinking
like,
Mai Tai tonight. I have coffee tonight, so
So we're not going to be slurring by the time you're done.
exactly.
So essentially, we were basically going to be using not Hugh as bait, but to contact his primary. He was contracted by the one individual who was dealing with this kind of technocratic organization, and that's where we were at.
I think that was Zachary, is who I was going to contact. Is that
Yeah.
right?
Let's go with that.
Yeah, sure.
What I can't recall specifically, except for without said notes, is if we're together in a group at the safe house. I think some of us were at a motel, hotel, something like that.
I think Hugh was going back to his office.
Mhm.
Because
and we were going.
the
There's
hotel
that.
or the safe house is like not. It's being like
It's a
like
crime
fixed up.
scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a crime scene. So we had.
Yeah, I think
gone
everybody
and found
departed.
A place to
Mhm.
stay for the night, and then we were like getting all back together.
Oh, I think we were going to meet up at the pie house. Or
Yeah.
The, can't remember the
Yeah,
name right
pie
now.
house
Yeah,
sounds good. How's a pie?
The Roadhouse.
Roadhouse.
Well, I think it was going to be everybody rest, find yourselves enough time to get some shut-eye, and then come back to find out what you're going to be able to do about things later, which is where the Roadhouse would come in.
Yeah.
I think from the safe house it was approximately 45 minutes to an hour by jumper, if I'm not mistaken, something like that. But everybody kind of went their own way, and it's really close to the Hughes office, so it's not like he has to go very far.
No, I mean, there's a reason he frequents that establishment.
That's why it's your hangout spot.
Yeah, and your subcontractor also had provided you information about
That was Deckard,
everything that had
yeah.
been going on, like with
Yeah.
what he was able to find in the short period that you'd left him to do so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he found some good information. The case he was working on that I had contracted him with was interesting, and he was intrigued by the fact that Hugh had asked him to look into this, because he was like, "Why are you used to working with corporations and powers and stuff like that?" And we were like, "Yeah, that's kind of just how our group is like right now."
Well, it was also the fact, if I'm not mistaken, he actually referred to the fact that there was a singular alliance between which two corporations that was the most
Neurodyne
keynote.
and High Dynamet.
You are right. Yep. So
It's called a slip jet system.
that looks like, yeah, their slip jets are. Well, the slip jet system is looking to be a pretty powerful new kind of problem in terms of weapon and robotics. So, obviously something else is going on there. So, the only loose ends that people have to deal with in general are the fact that we aren't certain what our recently discovered psychic is all about. And, yeah, so we're just moving from there. What was the primary target was to go and figure out Silva. I think that's what everybody agreed on, is that Silva was the primary thing first, and then moving to the next step after that.
She's the one that we. This is gonna sound kind of rough, but like, she's the one that we care about.
Yeah.
And then the other one we've been like.
That would track and make
contracted
perfect
to
sense,
do,
especially given the fact. Yeah.
Like,
Wait,
we're not
didn't
getting
Memphis
paid to
tell
do
you
it,
that he
so-
had some something he could do to
I'm
help?
pretty sure that Memphis
he
said
was
he could
gonna,
help
like,
with her.
Memphis's school of gifted, not X-Men students, and like try and go and like kind of weasel his way in.
Right. I
Right,
remember
well,
we made
because he's
some
got
inappropriate
resources
moves.
and things, and he was going to go check
Yeah.
in on it as a private investigator or somebody of authority.
Yeah. Because he's got some other knowledge that we don't necessarily have, and he's unknown to them. So like if I show up again, she's gonna be like, "Hey, I remember you," right?
Right. Yeah, he's going to go dig into the school, and yeah, he's going to basically be a representative. Or he's going to be appearing as a scout for gifted kids. Yeah. Which is him.
Whatever shortcut you use. Now it's starting, and we're back. And we're back.
We're never without these things. I have to turn those hotkeys off because I accidentally just hit the side of the keyboard and just did that. I'm a professional.
You know,
Malcolm-
I can't get hotkeys to work when I'm playing a game full screen.
Dude, the hotkeys are insane in OBS. At least for me, like, I literally have a hotkey of 1 and it does something. And like, if I'm typing and I just happen to hit exclamation point, that counts as 1, and it works.
I just have the simple stop recording, and I can't get the hotkey to work while I'm playing if I'm playing full screen.
I bet you that's an Apple thing, because
It probably is that there's a lockout,
it probably just blocks it out.
keyboard
Yeah,
strokes and like all that.
yeah,
But then
stroking.
I got my lotion and shit.
Yeah, that'll fix
But
that.
like
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, back to the game.
Let's see. Well, gifted.
I know very little about OBS. I know how to change depending on what I'm doing, and then hit record and how to remux stuff.
Muxin. That's fancy.
Okay. Well, next day hits, and we have Danny at the hotel with his parents. We have Hugh who'd gone back to his office. Malcolm, I think you went back to your apartment anyway, back to City Park, or I'm sorry. You went back out to hunt because I believe your blood stores were completely emptied.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you went hunting last time. I remember that.
So in hunting. And the story disappeared.
No matter what I'm doing, man, there's always something. I got a cat jumping up on my shit, trying to get my attention, a fucking dog doing something. Always something.
Oh, is the when we're done this evening? I want to see the kittens if they're in your room. You can hold them up to the camera.
Sure enough.
Let's see.
So-
Lodging.
We're going to be meeting at the Roadhouse. I don't remember the full name, I just know that Roadhouse is in the name. So we'll be
The
meeting
Roadhouse,
there.
yeah.
It'll be approximately 8:30 in the evening, and everyone will be showing up sort of pretty close together. This timing is
I'm
going
gonna
to
be
be
eating an omelet.
pretty
since
accurate.
I'll probably be there first. Eating. I'm gonna get an omelet.
omelet.
Omelet du fromage.
God. Well, I mean, you're there. You can see that there's a combination of people that you usually see, but it looks like they have more rigs doing the serving at this point. You know, they're sort of these, anthropomorphized, gentle-looking robots that, they have they have the emotive expressions where it's not features, it's just digital emotives that are on the screens that portray it, but they have good speakers. So of course, whenever you make your order, it just kind of like acknowledges that, moves on, And you have a tendency he's always done his orders verbally. He rarely ever uses the touchscreen on the tables and counters and such. So your omelet is actually being delivered right about the time when everyone else starts to show up.
Excellent.
You have Barnaby and Danny who are going to be showing up in the door first, Malcolm right behind. And now, it's pretty much taking a seat. You guys acknowledge the fact that you've got the rig who walks by. They kind of, gives you an offer for a seat. Barnaby's just like indicates where, Henry, he was sitting, and you guys move there. Getting a couple of copies ordered and so on. Bill, can you do me a favor? Just roll, do you have survival as a skill, don't you?
No. Yes, I do.
Would you give me one of those rolls, please, to see how successful at hunting you were? I would like to know.
Oh, Jesus
See that?
Christ. Best roll I have. Watch me get a crit and watch me get a fail. Okay. Night City chat. $20.
Okay, you did pretty well.
Yeah.
You'd managed to be able to get yourself at least one larger animal. I think in this case it actually would have been a doe, and that would actually supply you for a while. Because you can
That's
drain it,
funny.
leave the carcass for, inside of that for other predators and so on, but you can take your bounty and move on.
You're very
So-
consistent, D. Last time he went hunting and he got a deer as well. So it's all lining up.
A
Yep.
doe, a deer, a female deer. Anyway.
He finds a lone human pig thing.
Man bear pig.
Yeah, that.
Half man,
Wow,
half
that was
bear,
in
half
sync
pig.
too. That was synchronistic all by itself.
Synergy.
Gosh. I wish there was a way to make the symbol of those stupid S's we used to make in the 90s, when everybody would
Yep,
just
I know
draw
exactly
those
what you're
things.
talking about. Yeah, the 3 lines, then the connecting 3
Yeah, the
lines.
stupid S synergy. Anyway, but
That'd be a good for a logo as the S
Did-
in the logo.
Teach my kids that lost art.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like
that'd be a good one.
hieroglyphics. It's their
They're
emojis before
everywhere.
emojis existed.
They're like skibbity riz, and I'm like, I don't
Someone introduced
It's-
me to the Skibidi toilet like first season, which is like 5 minutes. It's absolutely mind melting. So there you go. There's that.
But Barnaby gets seated, orders his coffee, Dan sits nearby, and Malcolm looks to be somewhat pleased with himself with his blood reserves fully restored. Yeah, Barnaby's like, do you eat anything else other than omelets and pie?
It's the 5. It has all the 5 favorite food groups in it. You got eggs. You got eggs. You got cheese. And what else would I put in there? Bell peppers, onions.
Malcolm just looks at Barnaby and goes, yeah, Good's teeth. Why did you ask the man a question?
Keeps him distracted.
If Danny can catch a Servotron person, whatever,
Yeah,
he'll.
there's one that just
he'll-
comes. It just like it's walking at a slow pace right on by when you're looking for it.
He'll request some chilaquiles.
You're gonna request some what?
Chilaquiles. Chilaquiles.
The greatest
Okay.
breakfast ever created in all of humankind.
I don't know what that is.
I haven't heard of it in a while.
You deprived souls, you have not stayed over enough at my place.
Well,
Well, you got to describe it though. What's a chilaquiles?
So take some old tortillas, fry them up crispy, cover them in salsa, runny eggs, freshly chopped and cooked bell peppers, onions, whatever you want on it. They're basically like breakfast nachos.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
well,
Yes.
All right.
that sounds
Chill.
tasty. As I'm sidelong getting a description of liquidy cat diarrhea at the same time.
No. What?
Long story. Just horrifying timing.
Viewers, don't listen to him. Chilaquiles are
is.
an amazing breakfast food.
It's
Does
not
that
even
make
about
more
you. It's
sense?
about the fact that my cat's being medicated and having issues.
Oh, poor kitty. So, yeah, I think, I guess when Hugh sits down and is like, so have you heard back from Memphis yet? Has he gotten any information about Emma?
Barnaby takes a sip of his coffee. He's like, it's only been 24 hours, Hugh. I don't know that he has had much chance. I haven't heard anything, at least. It's probably going
Alright,
to take him a
well,
while. If he zeroes
I
in
think
on
that,
one kid and she's average and whatever it is she's doing, he's going to have to come up with an explanation for that.
So I think our first goal today, this evening, is to get me some equipment so that I'm a little bit more. Ready
Yeah,
to
we were going
face
to take you
what,
shopping, weren't we?
Yeah, it's a shopping time. I gotta take a pie to go.
Well, since we're going to be taking you shopping in this particular case, what exactly is it that you actually have skill in? Do you even know how to use a pistol?
I have
It's
various
char-
skills and various things.
Oh, his charming personality.
Well, I think that's more of a weapon against his allies than his enemies.
I would recommend anything that keeps him from being harmed.
He pulls out his pistol and is like, I've used this enough to know where which end is to point at the bad guys.
Well,
Malcolm just kind of looks at it and goes, "Aye, and you'd mildly irritate me with such a thing. So maybe we work on what you can do."
I mean, so I don't know exactly how to describe this.
well,
So-
out of character, what do you have in terms of combat
That's what I was
skills?
gonna say. I was gonna describe what I have. I'm trained 2 in melee, 1 in rifle, and 8 in handgun. Everything else is just raw skill, or like raw, like no training for
No
weapons.
ranks. You're not trained.
Yeah.
So you
So
like
I'm
basically
definitely
say
trained.
that, and he's like, "So you don't have a lot going on as far as your shotgun's concerned, but you practice with your pistol often enough. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're telling the truth about your groupings in this case, then we'll have to use that."
Oh, you're talking about like how well I can shoot at the range.
Yeah, we're just assuming that you had made conversation about your various
Yeah, yeah.
groupings and what your training would be.
I'm
Is
trying
that-
to learn myself because you know how I know absolutely nothing about weapons, like handguns, and you guys speak in another language, so I'm just trying to learn.
Yeah. Well, in this case, he just nods his head. He's like, "Okay, well, pistols is what we're gonna have to stick with. We would need to give you a lot more, maybe so you don't have to worry about reloading in mid-fight. You just draw the new one. And we're gonna want to look at some special
Pirate?
ammunition." What was that?
Like an old-timey pirate with like 9 handguns on them because it was faster to just pull another gun.
Or you could then probably think of something like Boondock Saints. It was a firefight! Like,
Yeah, that's true. I like the old-timey pirate idea better.
well, the old-timey pirate definitely had it going on, but I mean, you've only got one shot per pistol. Huh.
But I mean, still same principle, faster than reloading.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna... Okay, kiddo. What I was gonna say, outside of children, as I move away from children, is the benefit of being an old-timey party is if you're gonna blow your load, at least you do it once.
Well, we should look at some special ammunition that's going to have a little bit more oomph, the proper amount of punch for some of the things we've been dealing with. Because even for me, most of the shots I've been making have been just passing right through or doing little to nothing. Whatever those weird cinderling things that Memphis had referred to beforehand, I had to empty out entire magazines just to get an effect. I'm not really feeling confident that standard copper-jacketed rounds is going to do us any good, so I guess it's going to be you and me both looking for something a little bit more special on the side, make an improvement.
If I might have a recommendation. We did...
All ears.
Hugh and I did visit a specific armorer within the alleyway. Well, that did benefit us. Would they not have something that may suit the bill on that end?
Yeah, Hugh perks up when you're saying it's like, oh yeah, the trench coat he's wearing. It's like that's where I got this, and he knocks on it. It's like tung tung, like his armored trench coat. I know it wouldn't actually make that, but it's like it's thick. That's what I'm trying to show. Like it's got the armor and.
Are you just saying, like, going back to that marketplace you guys were, like, that we've been to before?
Aye.
Just seeing if somewhere generally they have? Well, I mean, I guess we could
If-
possibly go there, but
I mean, do we have any other resources that we know of outside the marketplace that can provide us with the proper ammunition for you too?
well, You know what? It's funny you say that, Malcolm, because we probably don't need to actually go running and jumping to any grand marketplace to find incredibly powerful rounds for this, or ammunitions. In fact, there are so many gun shops, it's almost too difficult to try and figure out where we're going to get the new ammunition.
We're not
Sometimes the
one for
quality
choice.
is what we have to try and keep in mind. So, I mean, if we end up with a bust out here, I suppose we probably could go to the Grand Marketplace, but they kind of have a tendency to deal in specific, all high levels of AG, A lot easier when you just got a credit stick.
I mean, that's fair.
So he's gonna pull up Ask Jeeves on his wristband, and
That feels like it's a century old already, and it hasn't even been that long.
I know. He's like, "Where's the closest gun shop that I can find metaphysical weapons?"
Metaphysical?
That's what
Yeah, that doesn't turn up much. He just is like, what are you searching for?
Well, you mentioned that we need to have weapons that can deal with threats that you can't hit physically. So I thought.
No,
metaphysical-
that would do more damage overall.
Oh, okay. So he backspaces, digitally. It's like guns, lots of guns.
Oh god. You just get random gifs of Keanu Reeves.
And he's still alive.
Yeah.
And unaged.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because he's a
he looks like he
vampire.
does now. He's still John
Just
Wicking.
Bill and Tedded into the future.
Well,
Okay, but
either way,
honestly, I am doing a search. I'm actually wanting to use a skill to see if I can find something close, like nearby, that we can go to first. What skill would that be? That's investigation, right?
Yeah, but the dice apparently to have decided that cameo is best. So, whenever you're like looking around and perusing, you have Barnab going like, "Oh yeah," like that. He ends up wiping his mouth for a short minute, and because your pie's now coming in a box at this point, he's like, "That one."
Yeah,
Hammer
I love
of
this,
God.
Technology. What'd you say?
He's like, "Hammer
I
of
love
God
it.
munitions."
Praise the Lord and pass the ammunition.
That's it.
All right. Well, after we're done here, let's head over there.
There's a gruff cybernetic FBI agent standing nearby the counter. You know, friendo, you might want to try Hammer of God.
He's doing commercials for Hunter.net.
That
I love
actually
it.
is
Why
really a
not?
really great way for Barrick to make him come back.
Have a secondary income.
Right? He just like finger guns, pew pew.
Yeah.
Hammer
God's
of God.
ammunition.
I never miss.
My choice.
I just watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and I'm just thinking of that. Like, I don't know if you've seen it, but like, there's a part at the end where he's like, and that's why I choose these, cigarettes, whatever. And at the end, he's like, God, these things taste like shit. And he like puts the cigarette on the ground. And he's like, why did you make me hawk these things? They're like, they pay 25 cents a minute. Like, it's just, I can just see Barrick. Yeah, that's a fun place. Hammer of God. You find all sorts of cool ammunition there.
Let's go.
Why not? Alright, so you guys
And
grab
he
your
just
grub
shovels
and
the
go.
rest of his food into his mouth, like a
Yeah.
16-year-old who can unhinge his jaw and never gain an ounce.
Me, so many years ago.
Oh, the days.
Well, so we get out of the roadhouse, take a jumper, and we start pushing across. So,
Is the place called Cameo or Hammer of God?
no, I said the dice demand a cameo, and the place is called
Oh.
Hammer of God Munitions.
Got it. Okay. Okay. Just trying to take good notes here.
We arrive in an area of town that is, well, seen better days, for the most part. It's got those lower story buildings sort of crouched amongst the taller skyscrapers at range. And, most of the people here kind of keep to themselves, eyes to the ground, or just avoiding eye contact in general. And then you have one of the, on par structures that 6-7 story building, basically. But at ground level, you have this Hammer of God munitions location, and you can step on the inside. It seems that they're open, despite the fact that it's super late in the evening, because we get there about around 9:15, 9:20.
Okay. Still open. So he was gonna open the place, basically like he does. It's like, boom, baby, let's see some stuff.
Well, I mean, you push open the old door, and it doesn't have anything automatic to it. It's got the bars on the outside, and the rest of it does advertise, guns going across, and it has the Hammer of God munitions sign out front, but instead of using holographics for the sign itself, it's actually made out of wood and paint, and it has that sort of almost Western-style feel to it. But it does have that exact byline of, Hammer of God munitions, and says, praise the Lord, and pass the ammunition. When you step inside, you're hit with that smell of metal and oil. Kind of hard to misplace. There are multiple cases that have been lit so that you can view the various weaponry that's all there. And you also have shelves that have been loaded with caged boxes of munitions in all directions, sporting calibers that you're familiar with and many that you don't. A lot of them reaching in size from doorway into the back of the shop. And you find a younger man who is probably in his mid-30s. He's got a little bit of a gray speckle in his beard. He doesn't seem to be sporting a lot of any enhancements that you can see, but he acknowledges that you have all stepped inside. What's funny, Bill, is that when you go stepping past the threshold, you feel a little static going in and around your person when that happens. Kind of feels like you're kind of being seen in a way.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody seems to acknowledge anything else, but it makes your hair stand on end for just a minute. But he looks up to the four of you. Let's see here if I got this count right. It's actually, it's Barnaby, Danny, Hugh, and Malcolm. So the four of you step inside. He just looks up and he goes like, evening, gentlemen.
Before he goes agree to kind of side eyes, Danny's like, what's our budget this evening?
Barnaby's like, well, I was the one that was taking you guys shopping, so it's technically on me.
Oh.
And then there's a huge grin on Hugh's face. It's like, and
we need to make sure we get loaded up with the proper stuff. Load you
And
up
then
with
he
magazines, proper rounds, make sure they're all marked correctly. When he looks over to the guy who's standing on the other end, he's like, think you can be able to help us out with that? And he's just sort of like I can. And he just kind of gives Malcolm a slightly longer look for just a minute, and then addresses everybody in wide general eye contact. He's like, we have something for every occasion. All the way from hunting to plinking to other endeavors.
so Hugh's like, Hugh, man, here. Not the here, but
Yeah.
yeah. It's like at your I guess you're at my service this evening. You're looking to outfit myself with how you say it, the big boom.
He's just like, no, we don't say that. He just shakes your hand. He's just like, and he's like, Steven. You can call me Steven. Well, I will be your host this evening. Apparently you've come here with the idea to shop, but I'm not certain exactly that I can interest everyone with, standard rounds, it would appear. He looks over at Barnaby, who's just kind of giving everything a look. He lifts up his shades for a minute, lets them rest on his forehead. I like what I see so far, but we're looking for something that's going to be a little bit more devastating. I mean, don't get me wrong, hollow points are hollow points, but maybe something with a bit more impact. And he's just, Steven just nods his head.
Malcolm's kind of looking around, just kind of perusing things, because he's just scoping everything, and he's like, he just looks at Steve and he goes, they'll need non-standard.
Well, given the company you keep, he's just sort of like, he's actually looking at you again still. Do you actually wear a visible cross?
Oh yeah.
He kind of gives you a smirk. He's just like, Really interesting company, in fact. Non-standard. And he just kind of looks to all four of us at this point and nods his head. Well, see, I can provide non-standard ammunition, of course. Just depends on what it is that you're going hunting for.
So at this point, Hugh reaches into his jacket and he carefully, he's not going to whip it out. He takes out his mini max and is like, "This is what I've been working with, and apparently this is not good enough anymore. I need something better."
Malcolm kind of pipes up again and says, "By non-standard, I mean, what can hurt me?"
And he just nods his head. He's like, "Is that it? Is the only thing you're after? Or is it more than that?"
Well, what can hurt me with a little bit more of a hit?
Well, if you're looking for a more generalized kind of situation solvent, I have something for you that might be of interest. A bit of a play on the modern version, in fact.
I love Whistler.
So he's like, but of course, usually these wares are not usually visible unless, I'll get somebody to vouch. When Barnaby just kind of like taps his hand on the counter, he's like, "Don't worry." And he's like, "I've got Ebenezer's good word on this." And he just looks at him, he's like, "You know Ebenezer?" He's like, "Yeah. Been to his shop a couple of times down and the other way. He's on, east side on Clinch." And it's like, just nods his head, it's like, well, fair enough. If you can walk through, then just about anything's possible. I'll see what I can muster up. Let's see, well, we got some Iron Star rounds in here that might be of interest to you. Since, again, that's a much more generalist point of view, but, I'll explain. He, goes into the back, you guys wait maybe a minute, comes back out with a box that is, well, it's definitely not manufactured in a professional way. It's just a cardboard box that seems to fit all these rounds. Blank. No indication as to what it might have been. When he opens it, the rounds on the inside look like they are probably fitted for a pistol that is capable of firing a 9mm. So, those are like about this big, this long rather. But the casings and stuff like that, it looks standard, but the actual bullet itself is very different. And he's like, microcharged warhead with iron filings, wrought iron filings, in fact. Makes impact, blows up just like a cyber killer would. Like, he sits it down, it's like, difference is, it'll have the same effect on, you know, Joe Blow anybody, but you hit something that ain't natural, well, that's going to hurt a hell of a lot more, and believe me, you'll notice immediately.
And Malcolm, because, I mean, he's evaluated, like, the enemies we face of non-natural, and, you know, he doesn't understand the concept of mechanicoid beings. And he just kind of looks at Steven and goes, and what you have of the variety of the steel of persuasion. It's the best way he can put it in his conception.
Right. And what's he actually going for out of character, though?
Out of character? Oh, I don't know. The purely cybernetic individual that we faced several times and nearly died on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're just basically saying, hey, you know, what can kill something like that? He's just sort of like, are you talking about your garden variety go out and, you know, cybernetic killers?
And Malcolm is, I mean, he's standing, but, you know, standing, he kind of leans forward. The kind that can hurt me.
Well, he's like, he holds up the box of the things he just said there. It's like, well, these will hurt you plenty.
Mechanical, though. He doesn't use mechanical. He uses, like, steel men of iron.
And he's like, well, again, like I said, it depends on what you're looking for. This is the cyber killer variant that more or less works on anything that is in the unnatural category, but will have an effect very, very similar to anything else that would have been in the same field. It's discreet. You can literally just kill two birds with one stone. Maybe that's probably a better phrase. So if you're looking for something that can take down steelmen / cybernetic individuals, and you're looking for something with a lot of impact, these would still do the trick. It's that same micro warhead. Of course, got to be careful when you're unjamming.
That's all I care about for these two.
Well, there's that, and we've got other options for a few other things. Now, if you're looking for specifically something that could be antithetical to, a not-so-living variety, we have various kinds of radiant fluid or specially acclimated incendiary rounds, holy fire, if you will. Stuff like that.
Oh, I like the incendiary rounds.
Well, just got to make sure you got a weapon that can handle it.
Do you have any weapons that would be able to handle all of this ammunition we're picking up this night?
Well, it's in different stock and different trade, so it depends on what you're asking for. If you want something like incendiary, I'd almost recommend a shotgun of a certain sort.
So he from his bag and was like, I got this, and it's his sawed-off 12 gauge. Would this work?
He's like, that'll probably do you pretty good at about 100 yards. It kind of...
It's just worn.
Yeah.
It looks like it's gotten lots of love.
I think you probably want something a bit more effective so you can, pump and keep on going.
Pump and dump. Well,
He's like, you want to trade it in?
Betsy? No. No, actually, you know what? He will have an affinity to the weapon. It's like, no, not Betsy. She'll go in. She'll go on my pedestal if I replace her.
Malcolm's kind of like doing the drifting look and says, he'll trade in Betsy.
Betsy. What's Danny been looking at this whole time? Just looking at the guns and being like, this is cool.
No, Danny doesn't really like, firearms and stuff. He's kind of just looking around to see accessories. He loves the gadget-y type things like that. So
you should get like a little glove that has like toot 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 kind of thing.
Like flechettes shoot out his glove.
I feel like that'd be useful for you because then you could like use your magic to like imbue them kind of thing.
Well, the only physical weapon that he has, which I don't know that anyone's actually ever seen really, is the monowire whip that retracts into his watch.
Right.
That he can pull out. So he hasn't had to get physical really. But yeah, so he's got some more fashion armor. That's his armor that he has, and so he's kind of looking at different accessories and seeing grenades and stuff like that. If there's anything like that around, that's gonna catch his eye.
Yeah, so I mean, Hugh would also refer to Danny too, talking to Steven. It's like, Steven, not only do we need to replace my weapons and Barnaby's, but back there you see Mr. Danny. He needs some weapons as well, but he's not too good with firearms. Do you have anything that that is projectile but is easy to just point and shoot, or something like that? I don't know if there's a better way to describe that out of character. I don't know how.
Honestly, unless you get some good training in using a firearm under stressful circumstances or conditions, it's not recommended.
Yeah, I don't want a gun.
Maybe a card shooter, because you have your cards. And
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Boom!
I'm gonna send you to the shadow
I'm
realm.
gonna send you to the shadow realm.
He's like, well, let's deal with first things first. You want some holy fire rounds? Is that what I heard?
I think we want to be able to deal with any, or not any, but deal with a variety of situations that might occur.
Well, that's pretty much
Yeah,
garden variety standard for the population of all the city in general. I mean, do you have a cart?
A cart?
Yeah.
He's just kind of looking at you like he's...
stuff you're gonna.
Yeah.
Because you just said you want to deal with every threat.
No, a variety of threats, not every threat.
Hugh, I think the man's recommendation with the one ammunition, he just basically goes, that encompasses a couple of the threats we've faced.
Well, something that'll work for short range and something that I can use for medium range. That's what I'm looking for. Because he's
I like
referring
your
to the
shotgun.
handgun and shotgun.
Well,
I
I,
like
think you
your
need a
shotgun.
better. I think you need a better shotgun, honestly, because Betsy, as you put it, ain't gonna be able to handle some of the stuff that you can put through or some of the shells that I can provide. Now, of
It'll
course,
just feel like a bloom.
no. Actually, what'll
Like
happen is that the
automatic
barrels will
shotgun.
like warp after a while. Because the thing about firing incendiary rounds is that it creates a lot of extra heat.
Hot.
Yeah. So, the biggest thing is like he reaches behind the counter, unlocks a case, pulls something out that you haven't seen before. He lays it out across the table. It's like, all right. If you were looking to make sure that nobody can get too terribly close, and you want a lot of power to reinforce it, let me introduce to you the DS Sunflower Rotary Shotgun. Great for any
Sunflower,
occasion.
That sounds nice.
He's just sort of like, well, if you're not on the business end of it, yeah. I'll show you how it works. He like picks it up. So what he shows you is that this weapon has the incredible capacity. So instead of having just like the one barrel, it's actually 4 barrels in a cluster. I'm sorry, not barrels like the kind you fire out of. I'm talking about the actual magazines. They're barrel magazines, and there are 4 of them linked together. And what happens is they carry 8 rounds each. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, rotate it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, rotate it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and keep doing that. So it houses 32 friggin' rounds of shells. And all that happens is that you fire the 8 shells out of the original magazine, you rotate it. And then you have 8 more shells to go.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. Show you a little bit what it looks like here. Once my controller gets itself under control. And we're going to put this in OOC.
Oh, that's funny. What am I looking at? Like,
A really cool thing.
I mean, yeah, but with that rotary thing at the bottom there, is that the barrel?
That's where
Or
the
is that
shells are. That's where the shells are housed.
Oh, okay.
And when you run out of
Okay,
8
so-
shells, you rotate it.
Oh, yeah, those things are cool.
So I,
Danny asked, he said, do you have like an automatic shotgun?
And Steven just looks over and he just kind of gives you that look of like, please. And he's like, of course. But I'm not going to be selling it off to a whelp like yourself, sir. No offense.
To me?
Oh,
No, I don't want that.
I asked AI
What
to
did you
generate.
ask Copilot to make?
I asked it to make what you
Oh my
described
God.
to me, and these are hilarious.
What the
If you can
F?
show them.
Those are so
Are
jacked
you
up.
looking at all of them?
I like that it's like at a convention.
Yeah, one of them's at a convention, but the next one over is the most realistic looking one. It's like got like the 4 barrels with the pump, like part of that, and then the
Yeah.
one where all the shotgun barrels are like part of a revolver. Like
That is so wildly screwed up looking.
it really is.
It's
Not it.
it's like a fracking it's like a revolver shotgun. It's a mashup of the worst kind.
I love it.
It even put in the DS Sunflower rotary shotgun, like
Yeah.
with all the words in there.
All right. Well, anyways,
So ridiculous.
thank you, super high genius AI 3-year-old, for drawing that picture for us. But yeah, so it's a really, really cool kind of way of doing things where you can just stock in a lot. But in this case, it's like, Got all the high-tech gadgetry you could possibly want. It has the link if you've got that kind of thing going on with your monocle or tactical glass. You can employ just about any number of rounds outside of this thing. It can handle your standard garden variety buckshot, slug rounds, special rounds, all the way up to and including incendiary or holy fire or any other kind of slug rounds with special specification that you might be interested in. Of course, this is named after probably one of the more disturbing type weapon munitions that came out some 80, 90 years back anyway. It was referred to as the sunflower round. Goes in, makes a hole about the size of a golf ball, and comes out the other end the size of a beach ball.
God, Barrett loved those.
That sounds amazing.
So, you obviously want the hardware, I'm assuming.
Yes.
And then what about the ammunition that goes with it?
Let's do. You know what Hugh's thinking is based on if the picture you're showing is kind of accurate. I would want to make it so that each one of those can hold 8, right?
Yeah.
So basically, I want 8 of different kinds of rounds, and then of course a bunch of extra ones that I would have in my, with me. But make it so I can make a choice. So I can be like, okay, I need this. Boom, 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 and then switch it, kind of thing.
Yep.
It makes it so he has options, which I always am a fan of. So let's see, incendiary, the sunflower, because it goes with the weapon. I mean, that just seems obvious to me.
Yeah, that one's just literally the K-Wop fist of shotgun slugs. It's really gross.
Then a regular rounds, like just regular, like the most powerful buck shot kind of rounds. Whatever the best way to say that is.
You're gonna go for triple aught buck?
Yeah, it sounds like you said something smart there. And then
big BBs.
I'm a complete layman. And then and then he looks to Barnaby and is like, I need another one. What else? Holy rounds?
I mean, he just like raises like, honestly, you should probably look into some of those cold iron or wrought iron filament versions, whatever the hell they are. He's, Steven's like, not a bad idea. When it's like,
one
well,
that shoots meatballs if you find another vegan vampire.
just out of curiosity, how much are we talking about? I can sell you boxes of 20 or boxes of 50. Which one sounds better?
I think 20 to start with of each would be good.
Just one?
Do you out of character, is that smart? Like, I guess I could roll tactics or ask Barnaby. Like, I don't know.
Well, you can just ask me. And in general, your character probably doesn't really know either. But, it depends what you're trying to do. If you're trying to be polite and not drain Barnaby based on what he's trying to sell, the 20 round boxes will probably be okay. But, I mean, more is not necessarily a problem either.
I'd go with 20 to see where I start. Because if I find that I'm using all of the incendiary, then I'd get more of that, right? If I find that I'm using, you know what I mean? So that gives me enough that it can get through a few encounters and see kind of how I'm utilizing my stuff. At least that seems reasonable to me. Because, like, if we're talking eat the 8 of each, 20 would get me at least 2 full, like, salvos of those. So almost 2.5. So I think that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm getting 20 of incendiary, sunflower. What do you call the triple? What? Triple? BBs.
Oh, the triple aught buckshot. Yeah.
Triple buck, and then the last one you called was like microfilament. Like silver or iron.
They would actually be the cold iron flechette rounds.
Cold iron flechette.
And that's going for your shotgun still.
Yeah, all of these are shotgun.
Yeah. So you're buying one box each. You've got 4 of them. That makes about 80 rounds total, plus the shotgun itself.
Yeah, and then we need to look at the handguns.
Yep.
Because the shotgun's good just for like I need power, but I'm going to be using the handgun most often.
Yes, sir. I am.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Ooh. That's actually quite pretty. Okay. And then he presents you with this weapon on the counter. Here's your stupid fucking rope.
Three's coming out eventually.
Alright, do you see it there, Ken?
Cool hand cannon, yeah. Or, I
Alright.
mean, pistol.
Say you're a Destiny player without saying you're a Destiny player. With that,
Or like a foot
That's
more.
a sidearm, please.
Yeah, that's
yes,
a sidearm.
exactly. Anyway, he's just like, it's like HD 360, hard to beat it, even though the company itself I don't necessarily agree with, but this thing is capable of carrying roughly around, it's got 15 rounds, 9mm apiece, but if you put those cyber killers in there, I'll sell you 2 boxes. Very similar to the ones you were just being purchased. He like points to the flechette rounds, is like these ones, except for they big boom on impact.
I like Big Boom. I'm such an
I
easy
agree.
customer. You just throw
Yeah,
me
it's like-
what I need.
But he's like, these cyber killers are specially designed to handle your flesh and natural and your unnatural opponents alike. And it will also deal with steelmen as well. Kind of the standard prioritized about 20 years ago, dealing with said steelmen in particular. So,
So what
I can say this, it's also got the same accoutrement of various kinds of features with your aided sights and all of the, like, your magazine readers, and it can even fit for compensation if you are interested. He kind of looks at you and pretty sure that actually with a pistol, you'll know what that is. Compensators usually go at the end. You know that a lot of John Wick's pistols in particular, how they always have that sort of like extended barrel. That's kind of what compensators help with, like recoil and all kinds of other things. But he's like, you need a compensator if you so choose. But more than anything else, it's extremely reliable. And if there is a jam, this is probably one of the few weapons that will allow you to remove it without blowing your own face off.
Nice. I think I also want, like, he was looking at this is like, okay, some good ammo. I would like to get a holster that I would be able to.
Oh, don't
chain
worry, we
with
got
my-
belts and harnesses with full bandoliers. You can get yourself a nice little shoulder holster. There for, well, your baby brother, I guess.
Well, not only just the holster, but I also want to be able to change. So out of character, what I'm thinking about is that having the Iron Star rounds will be good when I know that I need them.
What the fuck?
I'm just harnessing the power. Thanks, Bill. What I'm thinking about though is that if we're like accosted on the street, I don't need to use Iron Star rounds to take care of like a thug on the street, right? If they're attacking us. So
I
wanna
mean,
have, like-
it's gonna be just as effective. You know,
true, but
I mean,
it's-
you're gonna be
know
like,
it's just special.
kapow! No head. Like, you know, just.
Right.
You also have your
But I-
bat, which
Yeah.
you've used a lot.
That's true. Well, so I was hoping to have like a set of regular, like, conventional rounds, and to be
Yeah,
able to,
he can sell you some copper jacketed, like, standard bullets. He can sell you that.
Yeah,
You just
and this
press
thing,
L
it
and
looks
R
like,
to switch.
it looks like it'd be pretty easy to change out the magazine too, right? It'd just be like kind of thing.
Well, like I
Sure.
said, he can get you the harnesses and so on. He can also preload your magazines if you so choose. But he like takes the whole lot up in front of you. He's just sort of like, "Are we happy with this?" For you.
That'd be so cool. I'd love it. Yeah. I mean, this is definitely I haven't had a power upgrade in ever. So yes.
And Barnaby, what do you need?
Well, actually, we could pick up some more of those Iron Star rounds if you don't mind. And he just kind of like scratches the back of his head and he's like, personally, I've been sort of lacking something with, like, range and impact myself. But I'd like to get myself a rifle, if you don't mind. And he's like, he just nods his head, it's like, can do. Specific kind of caliber you're looking for. He's just like, honestly, I don't actually want it to be too big. Too many chances for ricochet and so on. How about we just stick with like a 10mm, something small arms, but bigger magazine, something maybe a drum perhaps, something like that. He's like, I could probably shell out something for more stopping power. You want a 45? He's like, actually, yeah. 45 caliber would be fine. And he's like, you want Iron Star with that too? He's like, if you don't mind. He's like, well, I mind. You're paying.
Malcolm still kind of doing his drifting look kind of thing. It's like, I have a question. And he touches the shotgun and he feels the oil on it. You treat these muskets quite well with your oils.
Uh-huh.
Do you have any special oil to anoint a weapon?
Are you talking about like cutlery?
He just kind of, like, his eyes flicker to his sword. And it's
Right,
like,
sure, like,
"Hey."
he just nods and says like, yeah, we got stuff that can probably fit your particular needs. You mind if I see the girl?
I mean, like, he hands it and says, and it's a reverence.
Right. Well, and he takes it out. He actually pulls it off to his side. He doesn't touch the blade, but he just takes a look at it. He's like, oh, speaking of me now, seems like you've done pretty good with this one. I mean, he kind of gives you a couple of looks for a minute. He's like, you don't often see a hammer-forged steel blade like this very often much these days. And it's like just rested across the back here, where he's just like taking a look and just kind of then looks down the straightness of it. He's like, I mean, I'm certain that I could probably give you something. What kind of steel was this made with?
From a bog.
He just
Bog iron.
like,
He goes
Nice.
bog iron.
well, yeah. Crazy stuff, bog iron. But he's sort of like, oh shit. And he like sheaths it back up. He's like, well, good
says-
shape for that.
He takes it back and says, I cannot replace something that's been with me from the beginning. But these oils. And he caresses the cross. Says, he goes, I have my faith. And anointed oils could be beneficial.
He actually just looks at you. He's like, I see what you're getting at, but you'd probably want to wear gloves. Like, that just goes back into the back part of the shop. He comes back out, and he's got a glass stoppered, wax-coated bottle. And he just comes up to you. It's like, this is probably something more what you're talking about.
Hi. And what's your intent?
To sell, make money.
No,
Basically, sell it off to you.
Hi. What be it?
Well, this stuff here is actually oil blessed by a small group, local ministry around these parts. I happen to know that they happen to be in the Lord's good graces on a rather typical fashion and stayed that way for some time now. And
Malcolm moves his hand toward it to kind of
yeah,
feel.
it's you touch the bottle. The bottle itself won't do you any harm, but you get the sensation that if you were to dip your hand inside of that, you're almost certain that the tip of your finger would melt off. So that's what he was referring to in terms of like you might want to wear gloves.
It's like, I think this will do.
And he's like, he just nods his head. It's like, risky business once it's yourself to be handling such material. Just be careful, alright?
God wills the weapons in man's hands.
Well, count me stupefied. And he just looks over at the other three of you. It's like, Genuine faith. Holy shit. Like that, just goes wandering over to the other side of the bar and starts fetching everybody's equipment. Grand total price tag, unless there's anybody else who wants anything
Grenades.
else. Right.
Because Danny like spouts
I
off.
finally found him. Grenades.
And he's just sort of
And
like,
you just hear Malcolm before Steven can even say it, it's like, I don't know what they are, but Donnie, gently put them down and never touch them again.
What?
well,
Donnie.
those ones don't do anything. They're just the desk model. Anyway, but he just goes wandering back. It's
And
like,
he looks at Steven and goes, God provides.
yeah. He's like, listen, if you're interested in having some explosives, you can definitely get a few of them here. Crate of 10's $450.
But do you have these? And he like holds up his, brace to show he's found Stardust and Sunburst.
Oh, the Sunburst? He's just sort of like,
Stardust.
right, he's just kind of like, looks at everybody, it's just like, the hell do you find that?
Internet.
One.
Well, you guys
I
are
have-
talking stuff, and I don't like guns, but I'm really good at throwing.
I don't question the boy anymore.
Well, as it so happens, I don't have a lot in my inventory. I've got maybe 3 of your Stardust, and I've got 5 Sunburst.
Well, I figure if I'm using them, I'm already screwed, so I don't need a lot.
He just looks around and is like, I can't sell it to you, kid. And it's like, Barnaby just walks up, it's like, just put it on my tab. It's not necessarily like I'm going to let him fucking run around with the damn things.
As Malcolm just looks up into the sky and goes, Good. Is this another of your testing of me? Because the
You know what
boy,
they are, Bill.
The Dark Slayers, who need to be able to immobilize the enemy without killing them. This grenade also makes regeneration impossible for several minutes after breathing it in. Effective against lycanthropes and their kindred. So it's a withering damage.
It
For the
does
Stardust.
just withering damage, and
So
one of them is
again-
basically aerosolized silver.
I'm going to refer to Malcolm looking up at the sky going, Good. Is this a test? As always, I understand the path you've led me upon.
And this one shoots light.
But the boy, and as Danny's still talking over like
And then
Malcolm,
it just like knocks them out. And it
as,
doesn't, like,
as
hurt
Danny's
them,
still
and then they can't
talking over
regenerate.
Malcolm,
And
Malcolm's still going. It's like he's talking, and Malcolm's going, I understand you put the boy in my path, but am I truly deserving of this fate?
And then I could use my repel thing and like snatch, and like I don't even have to throw them. I could just like whoosh right exactly where they need to go. Or I could do like all 8 of them in the air at once around whatever we need to fight, and then I could just pop
God,
the
I
pins
hate to
as
reiterate my
needed
point,
and like time delay,
but
and then it just like kabooms, and then I
he
could like
keeps
launch
talking,
so it shows them up in
and
the air,
truly,
and then like shove
I
them
have to
down his
question-
throat, and then
is my true climb being as I am, that I must be subjected to this?
Steven's just kind of sitting in the background, and Barnaby just like leans forward, not losing eye contact with him, and he's just sort of like, I'll
didn't
just
give me a birthday
take
present.
3 and 3. Okay? And Steve's like, alright then. Like that just goes
It's
back there
more
and
than
grabs
Daddy
it.
should have.
Question, mechanically, what does the bottle of blessed oil do?
Well,
Other-
it causes
other than
withering
burn the
damage
shit.
to. It causes withering damage to anything that is considered to be demonic in origin and anything considered undead in origin. So it's a twofer.
It's like lube. It just slides right in a lot easier.
Oh, dude, like in combination with the weapon that he has now? Yeah, sure, why not?
Don't get any.
Just don't
others.
touch the blade afterwards.
Yeah, I can't.
What's that?
I
What's
can't.
that? Where the guy's like, "This blade is poisoned."
Well, I mean, here's the thing is, well, here's the mechanical thing for like the two of you, right? I actually have a blessed basket hilt sword which does withering damage to demonic and undead. We just doubled that damage.
Yeah. So anyway,
Oh my god.
Danny's only trained weapon is melee. That's the only thing he has training in. And so I was remembering that grenades count as melee
Yes, they do.
because you throw them. So that combined with snatch and all that, I figure he could like remote detonate grenades.
Well, we've seen that work in the past, specifically with Riv's like teleportation capabilities.
Yeah.
She's like, huh, that building over there, chink, poof, kaboom. Like,
Like a rocket propelled grenade.
Steven, if you could do me a favor. Otherwise, I'd ask Donnie to do it because the boy doesn't have anything better to do with his life.
Oh, actually, Hugh is going to take out his vibro bat and put it in his second gear. Is there anything you can do to make this better, since everything else I'm upgrading?
what's that?
Vibro
Hugh
bat?
takes out his vibro bat. The still has some crusty blood on it because he forgot to clean it fully. It's like, is there anything you can do to make this better?
I hate to inform you, but I deal specifically with bullets. If you're looking for something that's going to be a little bit more around this, I've got recommendations.
I'm listening.
I could give you a couple of names, a couple of places, but I can't do anything with that.
List them out for me so I can write them down. He got his pad out. Yeah.
All right, well, he gives you some names and some places. We'll get to that later.
Okay.
Yes, Malcolm looks at Danny and goes, he's holding the vial in his hand and like the scabbard sword, and it's like, Donnie, I don't ask much of you.
What?
Can you oil my blade?
Do we have to do it here?
Barnaby just kind of turns around and leads on the case. He's like, I haven't even paid for this stuff yet. Listen, I'll be outside in just a minute. I'm gonna get everything
I'll
loaded
oil
up.
your blade back at the motel.
He just turns back to Steve. He's like, no idea what I'm doing. How much is this gonna be exactly?
It's so hard being a single father.
Oh, that hurt.
So he basically shells out between all of the different things 9,678 credits. Just pumps that all out.
1,670 credits.
78. Fucking A. Alright, so he basically crates everything up, puts it away. You've got several duffel bags where all this stuff has been fitted into place. And now you guys have some place or something to do, because you're going to have to be loading up your magazines, getting everything ready to go. And then it's a question of where you're going to go next after said shopping trip, or after loading and prepping. God.
Could you write out the stats of the things that we got?
Oh my god, that Sugar Daddy's one is giving me chills. I can't.
That's
You can't tell if it's a lip or a mustache. It's terrible.
Why not both? A lip stash.
That is basically what it looks like.
Was like, I've spent my entire childhood being told that if I was a good girl, I'd get rewarded by a nice older rich man. But somehow, when I want a sugar daddy, that's wrong. Santa, the ultimate sugar daddy.
Mm-hmm. I will see the movie Red One.
Oh yes, yeah. It took me a second. Yes, absolutely.
Come on,
So,
J.K. Simmons as Santa Claus,
As like beefed up
buff,
Santa.
beefed up like Jack Santa Claus.
Yeah.
okay.
You getting us some stats?
Yep.
Sweet.
Uh,
Gotta insert that into my my
Right.
sheet here.
let's see here, and then you got the.
Have you seen those videos of that guy who like wears really baggy clothes and looks like a janitor, but he's like
Yes.
he's like a weightlifting champion, and he
And
walks
it
up
was
to like
this,
dude bros and just like picks up like the really heavy things with one hand,
Anatoly or
blowing the
whatever.
guy's made.
Anatoly is my favorite.
He is awesome. I need to mop under this the squat rack.
Like, wait, and he just lifts it up, and the looks on their faces because he looks
Yeah.
scrawny because he
Yeah.
wears the baggy clothes, so you can't see how ripped he is.
Anatoly is probably my favorite troll of all time.
What was the other shotgun round set you got?
Let's see, I wrote it down. Let's see, 20 incendiary, sunflower, triple buck, and coal.
Oh, that's
iron
what it was.
bullshit round.
And Malcolm, he's holding the vial and he's appreciating the holiness
Right.
that exudes from it. And he looks at Stephen and says, "Good works for you with this day. I'm grateful to you."
Do we know who blessed it? It wasn't like those Templar dudes, right?
Oh, Malcolm would appreciate the irony.
Right.
So how does that how does that affect his blessed basket, which does withering damage to demonic and undead anyway?
How does it affect what now?
So he has a sword that already does withering damage against demonic and undead. How does this oil enhance it?
Well, you can definitely say that with it being anointed in that particular fashion. I mean, I believe the sword only does that primarily because of the fact that isn't this something that you have that enhanced it, giving it that ability?
No, it was it was blessed initially by a priest when it was given to him.
Well, at least it keeps it consistent. I'll see if there's
Yeah.
any others, because technically speaking, demonic and undead are kind of in the area of blessings anyway. As far as it goes. That's why that oil does what it does.
This sword already does.
Well, and the thing about that is, if it doesn't add anything damage-wise, it's not to say that you can't deploy it somewhere else. You could even put it on the outside of your Targe, even.
Oh, that's actually a really good idea.
Because you could do the outside or the front of the Targe, the business end of it, and you could slam that into people.
It's a blessed Targe.
Let's see. What do we got?
I have a blessed family Dirk, blessed Targe, blessed Pascal, which both does withering damage to demonic and otherwise.
Well, I would say that in this case, we'll give it a +2 on your total damage for it. It's not a lot, but it will maintain it. You'll get a +2 to damage. Because the thing about that is that Blessed Oil does pretty much just that. I'm at least keeping consistent.
Okay.
Or you could find yourself wearing gloves and you can bless a set of knuckle dusters. I don't know. But the oil can go in so many places.
Just don't kiss the knuckles.
Could he oil his claws?
Oil his claws?
Yeah.
Like,
Don't they grow naturally?
Fingernails.
Yeah, but I mean, that would just melt off you.
Yeah, shit. Never mind. No, it's fine. I just realized that most of my weapons are blessed anyway. But it was situational, and He roleplayed, so
Yeah.
We could technically apply that to our weapons.
You
too.
can also apply it to other people's weaponry as well. Yes.
yeah. So that'd be +2 damage to any ammunition or weapons that other people use, plus
Yeah, with the
them...
withering damage effects as well.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, it's like I'm pleased with this.
Well, let's see. There is going to be a short montage of everybody kind of breaking, loading, and setting everything up. You also get harnesses as well, so make sure to mark that in your inventory there, Ken, because you'll have shotgun harness with all of with the bandolier that goes across, so you can load up your shells later on, and that will also include your like your mag loaders, where you can snap in your extra magazines for your pistol. You have your shoulder holster now, where you can like load that up. You're basically going more professional, like much more professional hitman or bodyguard in that particular sense, with a lot of the extra ammunition and so on. But with the various things, let's see here. We have the Iron Star, which adds an additional 5 damage to whatever the round size is. In this case, your rounds were doing 8 per bullet, so you know you basically cause an explosion when they make impact. Think of it as your time. What's it called? Timed payload perk. Yeah. It basically does something like that, except for there's not really much of a delay. The warhead just explodes on contact, so it's pretty freaking devastating. It'll usually beat a lot of armor and break it apart. You know, obviously the sunflower rounds, that's basically just a huge middle finger to everything. It just does massive levels of damage anyway, because it's pretty much 3 HL for 1 round if you get hit with that thing. For, you know, standard. Then you have the Holy Fire rounds that has that, like, that Scorch condition, which means they suffer an extra pain level on top of the fact that if it's holy, they don't regenerate if they're demonic. So it's considered withering damage to certain things. The demonic in particular, and to the, yeah, just demonic actually. No, I'm sorry, it's undead as well. Because it's Holy Fire. Holy does the demonic and the undead. So, yeah, suffers withering damage, sets them ablaze, and they can't regenerate from it. That's pretty nasty. And then your Iron Flechette rounds, anything that is considered supernatural, it just does withering damage. Doesn't matter what it is. Could be a magical, supernatural, could be undead, could be unholy. It doesn't make a difference. If it's considered unnatural or evil in any sense, wrought iron is always your best bet. And it has an especially effective capability against Fae, because they're not really a huge fan of the whole iron anyway. And then, of course,
what's as far as the weapon, the sunflower DS sunflower rotary shotgun? So obviously, something special about it is the fact that it's got the rotary part.
well, yeah, the fact that you can rotate the actual cartridges, so you can rotate them around to get your different shots. But it's also got other capabilities, namely, you can link it to your monocle if you have one, which you do, and that will give you a certain level of aim assist, which means that you can get a +1 when you're taking shots. It's also highly resilient, which means it can handle all kinds of rounds without warping or heat damage.
When you say +1 to shot, that's just like +1 to the shot hit. Like,
Yeah, when you're rolling to strike your enemy, yeah.
Okay. And
it's also got your mag reader, which means that it gives you a full-on holographic display of what each one of the barrel cartridges has, so you can track your ammunition. So it's got ammo counters all over it, which again syncs up with your monocle.
Ken, if you're using the character sheet to type it in, the +1 to shots would be a 1 in accuracy.
Right.
And that updates your strike score.
And then the weapon itself doesn't imbue any of the extra damage that you're talking about. That's what shell I'm using, right? What's its
Right,
rate of fire?
its rate of fire in this case is actually 2. Can you fire 2 shots in a round?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd imagine that it would be, instead of a move action, I would have to, if I want to switch to the rotary, that'd be one of my fast action. So it's like, chink, and then shoot kind of thing.
Yeah.
One fast action to switch weapon type. When it actually comes to reloading it, how long does that take if the fight's going long enough that I have to actually like put them in the barrel?
You'll have to take time. So what you would have to flip the weapon upside down, and you don't have the cool John Wick double loading technique down. Because I don't know if you guys know that's what he was doing. Whenever he was doing his loads, he would carry two shells in his hand, and he would just go slip slip like that, and that's how he would load his weapon. And it took
like Keanu Reeves did so much practice to do that. Like he's legit. Like, that's
yeah.
insane.
Well, and if you guys noticed, there he's also had a shell on the outside of the exit, like the actual ejection port. And the reason why is because that was another specific type of loading practice, where if you ran out of shells from the inside of the weapon, he would just pull the slide back into the ejection port and roll it forward, and you have one more shot left. Like that was another specific kind of loading process.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so does it have any extra accuracy besides the monocle?
No, I mean like that's considered its smart connection to you, so that's part of the cyberpunky aspect of it. But the technology kind of goes into it. But like I said, the other thing too is that it's safeguarded. It's resilient. It won't break, bend, or get distorted. It's actually capable of taking on high pressure. It's also capable of being put underwater and fired on those limits. It's highly reliable because you bought a modern weapon as opposed to a, nearly centuries old freaking sawed-off shotgun.
So when you say the reload takes time, you told me
You'll have to take a whole round to reload a cartridge because it'll be 1,
Yep.
2, 3,
one cartridge
4,
per round.
5. No, you'll have to one magazine, so 8 rounds. You'll have to use up your whole turn loading it back up.
Yep. Okay, that's exactly what I said. 1 round per barrel is what I put in. So flip it over.
Yeah, it's going to be one round for barrel magazine. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't you mean barrel clip?
No.
That one
No,
I
I
know.
don't.
That one I know. I'm not being ignorant. I'm trying to be an asshole.
Yeah, you're not firing an M1 Garand. Ping. Anyway.
I know its capacity. I know what ammo I have. Okay, so the other one I need to know about is this HD 360.
Yeah, that's also got your tech link goes directly to your monocle. That will give you a +1 to your shots as well. It carries 15 round capacity in each magazine. You can load up your cyber killers for your standard copper jacket.
How many copper jackets do we buy? Just 2 boxes?
You bought 2 boxes, so you've got 100 rounds of the standard.
Oh, I thought it was 20. So
No, that was just for the shotgun. For the pistol,
Okay.
you've got 100 rounds of your standard copper jacket, and you've got 50 cyber killers aside from that.
50 cyber killers. I did not write that down, so I'm glad I asked.
Yeah, that's your iron
standard-
stars.
Standard. How much? And standard is 8, right?
What? Oh yeah, for the damage is 8.
9mm. Okay, so 15 rounds. It's got the link with monocle, mag reader. What was the other? Is there any other? Its accuracy is normal.
Oh, I almost forgot to tell you. The shotgun has one other feature to it. It is capable of capable of housing angel rounds in it. It was actually had that mod on there, so it's angel mod capable.
Okay, I wrote that down. So the HD 360 it's got the link. It's got the mag reader. 15 rounds. What's its rate of fire?
It's 3.
Okay.
That's
And
1 to 3, or it's like 1 to 3, or yeah, it's 1 to 3.
And then it's got what's the ATT rate? I forget.
Attack rate? That's how many times you can attack. Like how many attacks you have.
Oh, okay. So rate of fire is how many times you can use those. If I had
How many times you can fire per attack? Yeah.
Yeah, got it. So it's the accuracy would be 1. Is there anything else that I should know about the HD 360?
Not right at the moment. Other than the
Just a
fact
very
that,
well-made weapon.
there is one other thing. If it jams do not cause, what do you call it? It doesn't cause like critical malfunction. So, like when you're using special rounds like cyber killers, they don't blow up in your face. You can unjam it safely.
Okay.
It's safe, as safe as you could possibly get, anyway.
Well, I mean, it's better than my other one, which had a 13 capacity and 6 damage. So with using those the Iron Star. It's 8 damage already, and then plus 5 on top of that. So it's a huge upgrade for damage.
Yeah,
Is the HD? What type of weapon is the HD 360?
it's a ballistic pistol.
Okay, it's not on the list, so I'm writing it down.
Yeah, it's because I'm excellent at making this crap up off the top of my head when I don't have time to look. I just needed some kind of image to go with.
I've not actually used the stat before, the strike stat. Roll a 1d10 plus strike base to determine if the attack is successful. I thought that we just use our handgun, like for handgun.
You
for
do.
striking. Okay.
You just roll on handgun to see if you hit. Your accuracy
Yeah,
will modify it.
The strike in the character sheet is based on the
Oh, I see the
weapon
type. Yeah.
If you
have a
change
roll.
the type to be like heavy, archery, whatever, the strike will update.
Yeah, no, I see it now. Okay, we're cool. Cool. All right, I think I got everything in there. As far as those grenades, who owns those? That's Barnaby, right?
That's Barnaby. He's keeping a hold of those.
We have the stat that Scott posted.
And Malcolm just kind of pipes up and says, "Hey, Stephen, I know you're primary with the armament, musketry, and otherwise, but I am concerned with Hugh and Donnie and Barnaby with regards to what they can take physically. Do you have any recommendations for other merchants that may aid them in that regard?"
We're just talking about general protection.
What can hurt me?
He said this so many times. He's very focused on what hurts him.
I don't know that I necessarily follow what you're trying to tell me here. Are you looking for protection or armor? Simply put,
If I were to attack them, what merchant would you recommend that could protect them?
outside of having city contract for some kind of power armor, I can't really think of much. As someone such as yourself has an entirely different set of tactics, either very good reflexes or something hardened. Kind of depends on your ability to pay out as well. I mean, if you're all going hunting, he kind of scratches his head, looks at the kid, and just kind of back to you. He's like, "You all going hunting, you better find something. They got exo suits, I guess. Probably go to one of the bigger places for that, but are you wanting it to be discreet also? Does that matter?"
Discussion is always nice.
I mean,
Well,
out of character, Danny has the top of the line light armor.
yeah. He's like, "I don't know if I necessarily have many in the way of merchants that can probably help you out with that, but I would say that there are different threats that you provide than, say, ballistics would. Because honestly, a concrete pillar is probably about as good a defense as one can possibly hope for under the circumstances. Now, if you're looking for something that's a bit more unusual in that way, I mean, there's probably a couple of people I might recommend. He's kind of just like, well, I guess this might be good enough. He reaches down and he pulls out an old-fashioned notepad, scrawls something out onto it with an address and name, and he just slides it across. He's like, "It's the best I can do." She has a tendency to be pretty clean-cut with her customers, and she works pretty fast.
My life is in God's hands, but these poor children of mortal consent. And you can see the grudging nature of how he says this.
Yeah.
I do have a certain fondness for them.
He just says like, well, I've only had a chance to get to know you over the last 35 minutes or so, and even I can tell that must have hurt, so I'll keep it to myself. Nonetheless, she should probably help you with what you're asking for, best I can do. It's outside of my skill set, you see.
And it is your professional nature that I appreciate. And he takes it and he goes, and you just basically see like his arm jab out towards you.
Yeah,
You.
What are you handing me?
a piece of paper.
Oh,
Piece of
okay.
paper with
It's a folded note with a name and address on it.
It's just like, Hugh, I don't ask for much, but there's only so much bullets I can absorb for you.
And by me, because I'm pretty sure I shot you last time.
And he says, and pause, by you. So Hugh has another contact for his Rolodex.
Yeah.
That'll be the name for it.
Alright, I'll write that down. Write that down.
Yeah. You look down and it's Shadra Nadine Willow and Wind Boutique is where he points you, which doesn't sound like anything you'd get any kind of armor at, but nonetheless. It's like, well, gentlemen, it's been fun, but I suspect that you probably have run yourselves out of any kind of particular shop you're willing to dive off on here.
Malcolm looks at the vial of, holy oil and says, you didn't go to work this day.
Every day, I do my best. God bless. Goes back to one of the gun cases as you guys are leaving.
Malcolm kind of turns around and goes, and save the ammunition.
And he says, he just does that thing where he's like not looking at you, but he just points at you like, like he's got it. Which is interesting because when you pass back through that threshold out onto the streets again, you feel that same sort of zippy, staticky feeling, and not nearly as, well, hostile is probably the right word, but it's not nearly as hostile as when you actually do that, and not because you're leaving. It seems like maybe there's just something of a loosening of tensions.
Oh, Malcolm needs a new friend.
Alrighty. Well, that puts us on about 4 minutes away, and I have a request to fulfill, so give me just a moment, folks.
Got a grapefruit.
Turn the mic off when you piss.
I wonder if he can still hear us. Because I think he's wearing headphones.
That's the best part.
Have you seen the grapefruit video?
The woman?
Yeah.
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 I figured Scott would be all over that, considering.
I'll say, I just got my grad school reunion info.
Oh.
Well, it's a combo. The school itself is turning 20 this year, and then they're doing like a big party because like when your grad school class has a reunion, there's like 7 people. So, but yeah. So,
Oh Christ!
Yeah.
The one grad school party at our alma mater that Drew and I crashed.
Yeah.
It was just it basically makes me not want to go to reunions at all.
Yeah.
Because it was just this gigantic pissing match of people like,
early reunions.
Oh,
always are.
look how good I'm doing. I'm so successful because of my education. And Drew and I just kind of looked at each other going, I guess people enjoy wanking each other off.
Early reunions are all about that flex. That's why I didn't go to my high school 10-year reunion or 15-year reunion, all that. So the 25-year reunion is next year, and I'm like, do I want to go to that? I don't know.
No, you don't.
Well, I don't think so. Like all the people I want to talk to from high school, I do talk to, because social media happened like right away, and so, you know, I made friends, you know, online friends with all of those people, and then I've pruned out the people I don't want to talk to anymore.
You take me to one of my high school reunion. You'd never bring me in a Hannibal Lecter cart, and then have two people go. Don't give him anything, and then have them walk away.
All right. Well, there's a minor problem. I couldn't find both, but I found one.
Oh, that's the request to fulfill.
Oh,
Yeah.
look
Didn't
at
have
that
to pee.
kitty.
He had to get a cat.
Yep.
Very
He's grabbed by the kitten.
Yep. And this right now, his name unofficially is Eros, but we're
Does he
working
have
on
the
it.
Majin Buu on the forehead?
What?
The Majin Buu.
Yeah.
The M.
But he's looking little.
Tabby M.
Yep.
Oh yeah, you can see it. The Tabby M on the forehead.
Yeah. I can't find his
I like the
sister though.
pattern
She's
with the-
hiding in the bathroom. So, but yeah, there he is.
So big already.
Yeah, and he's also a mama's boy. Good God. Yeah, I know. Well,
love that.
So
regardless.
this video on how to put a kitten to sleep. And it
I saw
was
that
like,
too. The tunk tunk tunk. and
Yeah,
it's like-
tap tap tap, and the cat's like, boom.
Yeah, it was insanity.
Well,
It-
needless to say,
Yes.
I
10 o'clock.
do need to get going, gentlemen, and it was a fun time. Good job so far with being able to stream out of nowhere for a while. But yeah, so I guess we'll call it good, and I guess we'll see y'all next week.
Sounds good.
See you guys later.
Take care.
Take it easy.